30 years after they made millions laugh, the beloved stars of Young Frankenstein faced heartbreaking tragedies, shocking illnesses, and lonely final days. But one secret about the cast still stuns Hollywood today. Gene Wilder was born on June 11, 1933, and he played Dr. Frederick Frankenstein, the brilliant yet emotionally tormented grandson, desperately trying to escape the terrifying shadow of his family's infamous name. From the very first moment he appeared in Young Frankenstein, Wilder delivered far more than ordinary comedy. Beneath the frantic shouting, nervous laughter, and explosive emotional breakdowns was a man genuinely terrified that madness already existed deep inside him. That hidden fear became the true genius of Wilder's performance. He understood something many comedians never fully master. Audiences laugh hardest when the emotional pain underneath the humor feels completely real. The more Frederick fought against becoming like his grandfather, the funnier and sadder the character became at the same time. Born Jerome Silberman in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Wilder faced emotional struggles long before Hollywood fame arrived. As a child, he reportedly began using humor after doctors advised him to keep his sick mother smiling. That responsibility taught him early that comedy could become a form of emotional survival. Years later, audiences still sensed that vulnerability on screen. Even during the film's most absurd moments, Wilder always felt deeply human. There was sadness, insecurity, and tenderness behind his eyes that made viewers emotionally attached to him in ways few comedic actors ever achieved. By the time Young Frankenstein entered production in 1974, Wilder had already established himself as one of America's most respected comedic performers. Yet this project carried special personal importance because he co-wrote the screenplay with director Mel Brooks. Wilder reportedly insisted the film should be shot in black and white to recreate the atmosphere of classic 1930s Universal horror movies. That artistic decision helped make the film timeless rather than trendy. Tragedy later shaped Wilder's private life when his beloved wife Gilda Radner died from ovarian cancer in 1989. In his later years, Wilder quietly battled Alzheimer's disease before passing away in 2016 at age 83. Yet by 2026, his performances continue inspiring new generations, proving that genuine cinematic magic never truly disappears. Peter Boyle was born on October 18, 1935, and he played the monster, the misunderstood creation, whose frightening appearance concealed an innocent and deeply lonely soul. What made Boyle's performance in Young Frankenstein unforgettable was not simply the makeup or physical comedy, but the sadness and vulnerability he brought into the character. Instead of treating the monster like pure parody, Boyle portrayed him as a confused being, desperate for acceptance in a world that feared him instantly. That emotional sincerity transformed the character from slapstick comedy into something unexpectedly touching. Audiences laughed at the monster's awkward behavior, but they also sympathized with his pain and isolation. Raised in Pennsylvania within a deeply Catholic family, Boyle originally considered entering religious life and reportedly spent time studying to become a monk before eventually pursuing acting. That spiritual seriousness remained visible throughout his career. Even in comedic performances, Boyle carried a quiet, emotional depth that separated him from many actors of his generation. He understood shame, rejection, and emotional conflict, which helped make his monster feel painfully real. In many ways, the role reflected one of the film's central themes. Society often creates monsters by refusing to show compassion toward those who are different. Before Young Frankenstein, Boyle earned recognition through intense dramatic roles, especially in Joe, where audiences saw his darker side as an actor. However, director Mel Brooks recognized Boyle's rare ability to balance intimidation with innocence. That balance became most memorable during the famous "Puttin' on the Ritz" sequence, where the monster suddenly transforms into a performer seeking love and approval from the crowd. Outside Hollywood, Boyle developed friendships with major cultural figures, including John Lennon, who even served as best man at his wedding. Despite his talent, Boyle often struggled against Hollywood typecasting throughout his career. Later television audiences embraced him again as Frank Barone in Everybody Loves Raymond. After years of declining health, Peter Boyle died in 2006 at age 71 from heart disease and multiple myeloma. By 2026, his monster remains one of cinema's most compassionate and unforgettable comic performances. Marty Feldman was born on July 8, 1934, and he played Igor, the strange and unpredictable assistant whose shifting hump, wild eyes, and bizarre behavior turned him into one of the most unforgettable comedy characters in film history. From the moment Igor first shuffled through the castle corridors in Young Frankenstein, audiences immediately sensed complete chaos entering the story. Feldman possessed a rare comedic ability. The stranger he behaved, the more believable he somehow became. That contradiction made every scene involving Igor impossible to predict and almost impossible to forget. What made Feldman's appearance especially memorable was the painful truth behind it. His famous bulging eyes were not created through makeup or special effects. They resulted from Graves' disease and injuries connected to earlier health complications, while many performers might have hidden their physical differences out of embarrassment. Feldman transformed his unusual appearance into his greatest strength. He proved that individuality and imperfection could become powerful rather than limiting. Audiences connected with him because he represented outsiders who survived by embracing what made them different. Born in East London to Ukrainian Jewish immigrant parents, Feldman faced hardship early in life. He left school young, worked several jobs, and slowly entered the entertainment industry through comedy writing before moving in front of the camera. By the early 1970s, he had already become famous in Britain for his eccentric humor, but Young Frankenstein introduced him to American audiences on a much larger scale. Reportedly, Gene Wilder immediately believed Feldman was the only actor capable of playing Igor. Feldman's comic timing became legendary because he treated absurd situations with complete seriousness. The famous "What Hump" exchange worked perfectly because he delivered it with absolute sincerity. Behind the laughter, however, Feldman pushed his body dangerously hard. Years of heavy smoking and exhausting work schedules damaged his health severely. In 1982, while filming Yellowbeard in Mexico City, Feldman suffered a fatal heart attack at only 48 years old. By 2026, his performance as Igor still feels timeless because no one else ever combined chaos, vulnerability, and originality quite the way he did. Cloris Leachman was born on April 30th, 1926, and she brought unforgettable life to Frau Blücher, the eerie housekeeper whose very name caused horses to erupt into terrified screams throughout Young Frankenstein. From the moment she first appeared, drifting silently through the shadows of the castle, Leachman turned the character into one of the most iconic comedic figures in film history. What made her performance so extraordinary was her absolute sincerity. She never treated Frau Blücher as a parody or cartoon. Instead, she behaved as though she genuinely existed inside a classic Gothic horror story, and that complete seriousness made every strange moment even funnier. Her slow movements, cold stare, and dramatic whispers created comedy not through exaggeration, but through restraint. The calmer she became, the harder audiences laughed. Long before joining the film, Leachman had already established herself as one of Hollywood's most respected actresses. Born in Des Moines, Iowa, she studied acting seriously and spent years developing her craft in television, theater, and film. Her breakthrough came with emotionally powerful, dramatic performances, especially in The Last Picture Show, which earned her an Academy Award. Unlike many dramatic actors who struggled with comedy, Leachman understood that humor often grows directly from pain, loneliness, and emotional truth. She knew how deeply human vulnerability could connect with audiences. That emotional intelligence became the secret power behind Frau Blücher. Beneath the frightening appearance and mysterious behavior was a woman fiercely devoted to the memory of Dr. Frankenstein and the dark legacy he left behind. Off-screen, Leachman eventually faced devastating personal tragedy. In 1986, her son Brian died unexpectedly at only 30 years old. a heartbreak that permanently changed her life. Yet despite the grief, she refused to disappear. She continued acting almost non-stop for decades afterward, constantly reinventing herself for younger audiences through sitcoms, television appearances, and comedy projects. Even in her later years, she remained fearless, energetic, and refreshingly honest about aging. By the time modern audiences rediscovered Young Frankenstein decades later, Leachman had become a symbol of endurance in Hollywood itself. She survived personal loss, industry changes, and shifting generations while continuing to make people laugh. Cloris Leachman died in 2021 at age 94, leaving behind one of the most remarkable careers in entertainment history. By 2026, her portrayal of Frau Blücher still feels timeless because it captures something deeply human about fear memory and the painful grip of the past. Teri Garr was born on December 11, 1944. And she played Inga, the cheerful and flirtatious assistant whose warmth and optimism brought emotional balance to the madness of Young Frankenstein. At first glance, Inga appeared to fit the familiar stereotype of the playful comedic blonde, sweet, energetic, and charming. But Garr gave the character far more depth than that. Beneath the bright smile and exaggerated accent was intelligent sincerity and emotional warmth that grounded the entire story. In a world filled with terrifying experiments, angry villagers, and emotional chaos, Inga became the one person who constantly reminded Dr. Frederick Frankenstein that compassion and joy still mattered. Garr understood that comedy works best when the emotions underneath feel genuine, and that honesty made audiences instantly connect with her character. Before Young Frankenstein transformed her into a comedy star, Garr spent years struggling for recognition in Hollywood. Born into a performing family in Ohio, she experienced instability early in life after losing her father as a child. Determined to succeed, she worked steadily as a dancer and appeared in several films alongside Elvis Presley during the 1960s. Yet despite her natural talent and sharp comedic instincts, Hollywood often underestimated her. Producers focused mainly on her appearance and frequently overlooked her intelligence and versatility as an actress. Instead of allowing frustration to defeat her, Garr used it as motivation. She became determined to prove she could deliver performances with both humor and emotional substance. Everything changed when Gene Wilder personally recommended her for the role of Inga. Although some people initially questioned whether she could fully handle the comedy, Garr immediately impressed everyone with her flawless timing and natural charm. She had the rare ability to deliver ridiculous dialogue while making every emotion feel believable. That balance turned Inga into one of the film's most beloved characters. Ironically, while Garr radiated happiness on screen, her later years became marked by serious health struggles. During the 1980s, she quietly began experiencing symptoms of multiple sclerosis, but kept the illness hidden for years out of fear that Hollywood would stop hiring her. Eventually, she chose to speak openly about the disease and became a strong advocate for awareness and support. Even while facing pain and uncertainty, she continued using humor to encourage others. Teri Garr died in 2024 at age 79. By 2026, audiences still cherish her performance not only because she made them laugh, but because she represented kindness, resilience, and emotional light in a world often filled with darkness. Kenneth Mars was born on April 4, 1935, and he played Inspector Kemp, the one-armed village official whose bizarre accent, monocle, and constant panic made him one of the funniest characters in Young Frankenstein. In another actor's hands, Inspector Kemp might have become a simple parody, but Kenneth Mars committed to the role with such complete seriousness that every scene became unforgettable. He acted as though he truly belonged inside a terrifying 1930s horror movie, and that sincerity made the comedy even stronger. The genius of Young Frankenstein came from actors fully believing in the madness around them instead of simply chasing laughs. Born in Chicago, Mars studied theater seriously and built a reputation as one of Hollywood's most reliable character actors. Unlike glamorous leading men constantly seeking fame, Mars focused entirely on craftsmanship. He could disappear into accent-strange personalities and ridiculous situations without ever seeming artificial. Before Young Frankenstein, he had already worked with Mel Brooks in The Producers, where he played the eccentric Nazi playwright Franz Liebkind. Brooks immediately recognized something special in Mars. He could make absurd characters feel strangely believable. That talent became essential in Young Frankenstein, because Inspector Kemp represented fear itself. Throughout the film, villagers panic over monsters' danger and destruction, and Kemp becomes the symbol of society's irrational overreaction. Beneath the comedy was a surprisingly timeless truth about human nature. People often fear what they do not understand, and authority figures sometimes spread panic instead of wisdom. Mars played Kemp with exaggerated confidence, allowing audiences to laugh at how ridiculous fear can make people behave. Behind the scenes, Mars earned respect for being deeply professional and humble. While some actors struggled with ego or insecurity, he focused only on delivering the strongest performance possible. That discipline later helped him transition successfully into voice acting. Younger audiences eventually recognized him from projects like The Little Mermaid, where he voiced King Triton, and from The Land Before Time. Even when viewers did not know his name, they remembered his voice and unforgettable energy instinctively. Sadly, Mars later faced serious health problems and died from pancreatic cancer in 2011 at age 75. By 2026, his legacy continues through the strange and lovable characters he brought to life across generations. Inspector Kemp feared monsters hiding in the shadows, but Kenneth Mars himself never feared creative risks. He embraced eccentricity, completely proving that supporting actors are often the hidden foundation of Hollywood classics. Without performers like Mars, films like Young Frankenstein would never have achieved immortality. Madeline Kahn was born on September 29, 1942, and she played Elizabeth, the elegant and emotionally dramatic fiancée of Dr. Frederick Frankenstein. At first, Elizabeth appeared sophisticated, refined, and almost disconnected from Frederick's bizarre scientific world. But as Young Frankenstein unfolded, Madeline Kahn slowly transformed the character into one of the film's greatest comic surprises. Her genius came from contrast. She combined beauty intelligence, musical talent, and complete fearlessness about appearing ridiculous on screen. The famous bedroom sequence where Elizabeth suddenly erupts into operatic ecstasy became legendary because Kahn committed to the absurdity without a trace of embarrassment. Long before Young Frankenstein, Kahn had already become one of the most respected performers in American entertainment. Born in Boston and trained in music and drama, she possessed extraordinary vocal ability that separated her from almost every comedic actress of her era. She could perform opera seriously, and that musical discipline gave her comedy elegance and rhythm. Mel Brooks immediately recognized her brilliance and later described her as one of the most talented performers he had ever known. Unlike comedians who relied only on punchlines, Kahn approached scenes almost like musical performances, understanding exactly when to pause, when to explode emotionally, and when silence itself could become funny. Yet beneath her glamorous image was a deeply insecure woman who often doubted herself despite enormous praise. Even after earning Oscar nominations and widespread acclaim, Kahn quietly struggled with self-confidence. That vulnerability may explain why audiences connected with her so powerfully. Underneath every exaggerated scene was emotional truth. In Young Frankenstein, Elizabeth begins the story obsessed with perfection and appearances, but eventually reveals passion, unpredictability, and hidden desire beneath the surface. Kahn understood something timeless about human nature. People are rarely as controlled as they pretend to be. After the film, her career flourished across Broadway television and cinema. She eventually won a Tony Award after years of nominations and became beloved for her ability to balance sophistication with outrageous comedy. But tragedy arrived in the late 1990s when Kahn was diagnosed with ovarian cancer the same disease that had earlier taken Gene Wilder's wife, Gilda Radner. The connection felt heartbreakingly cruel, as though the young Frankenstein family could never fully escape loss. Even while battling illness, Kahn continued working whenever possible, refusing to let cancer define her completely. Shortly before her death in 1999, she married her longtime partner John Hansbury in a hospital room ceremony, creating one final moment of love during immense suffering. Madeline Kahn died later that year, at only 57 years old. By 2026, audiences still admire her fearless vulnerability because she proved something unforgettable. The most extraordinary performers are often the ones brave enough to stop pretending to be perfect. Before we end, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell, so you never miss more stories about legendary Hollywood stars and classic films. More than 50 years later, Young Frankenstein still survives because its cast brought real emotion behind every laugh. Their lives were filled with struggle, loss, resilience, and unforgettable talent. Though many are gone today, their performances continue inspiring audiences around the world, proving that great art and genuine humanity never truly disappear.